Welcome to the Historical Unknowns channel. Don't forget to subscribe, like and comment. Imagine the cold of Scotland. It's 1921. In a small town, the local blacksmith is hard at work, shoeing a horse. The steam rising from both the horse and the blacksmith tells us just how chilly it is. Blacksmithing, especially the art of shoeing horses, is a craft born out of necessity. This trade developed alongside the use of horses as both transportation and work animals. Nailing metal shoes onto their hooves protected them and ensured their efficiency and longevity. So, the next time you see a horseshoe, remember, it's more than just a piece of iron. It's a symbol of an age where the strength of a community could hinge on the skill of its blacksmith. Let's dive into the sweet history of ice cream. Some sources say that the first ice cream dates back to the Persian Empire, where they poured syrup over snow. Other sources claim originated in ancient Greece, with Alexander the Great's favorite treat being a mix of snow, milk, honey, and nectar. Now, let's fast forward to the photograph at hand. The year is 1898. In Istanbul, children are flocking to the beloved ice cream man. This charming scene captures a moment in time when ice cream started to become a favorite treat for kids in the city. Meet Franz Reichelt, an Austrian-born French tailor with a daring dream. He designed a wearable parachute and began testing it by throwing mannequins from his fifth-floor apartment. After successful trials, he set his sights higher, literally. In 1912, Franz obtained permission to test his parachute from the Eiffel Tower. His invention weighed about 44 pounds, made from canvas, and had a surface area of about 430 square feet. On a cold morning at 8 a.m., hundreds gathered to watch, but instead of using a dummy, Franz decided to make the jump himself. Ignoring his friends' pleas to reconsider, he leapt from 180 meters. Tragically, the parachute failed to open, and Franz Reichelt fell to his death. The Berlin Wall has gone up, not just dividing a city, but also tearing families apart. In West Berlin, grandparents gather on one side, eager to see their newborn grandchildren. Children are lifted as high as possible for a glimpse over the wall. The Berlin Wall was constructed starting on August 13, 1961, by the East German government, stretching 46 kilometers. It was built to prevent East Germans from fleeing to the west. The typewriter has an interesting history. The first version was invented by American William Austin Burt in 1839, but it was slower than handwriting. 40 years later, in 1868, Scholz created the first practical typewriter. His invention caught the attention of Thomas Edison, who believed it could be powered by electricity. By 1872, Edison had patented an electric typewriter where the keys moved using electromagnets. Despite the prevalence of computers today, typewriters are still being manufactured, preserving a piece of technological history. During the Gallipoli campaign in 1915, the Gallipoli Peninsula was a crucial battleground. Under Admiral Carden's command, British warships landed a 105mm gun on the shore. Allied landings on the peninsula were divided into two main fronts. The British 29th Division and the French Corps landed on 6 beaches in the southern part, known as the Sedel-Bahir Front. Meanwhile, the Anzac Corps made their landing at Arbonu. These landings mark significant moments in the intense and challenging Gallipoli campaign. On June 30, 1922, Colonel Sherrill issued a directive regulating skirt lengths in public buildings and grounds. This included a specific rule for a swimwear. The distance between a swimsuit and the knee couldn't exceed 16 centimeters. This photo shows Officer Bill Norton in Washington, D.C., using a tape measure to ensure compliance with the new beachwear regulations. A fascinating glimpse into the fashion rules of the past. The 1940s bumper cars were the highlight of any amusement park visit. Getting on one was a competitive sport. The car you wanted was always just out of reach. When the bell rang and time was up, if your car was far away, someone else would jump in before you could get there. Once you managed to get in, it was chaos. Someone would always tail you, bumping into you repeatedly. Just as you turned to bump them back, time would run out, leaving you wanting more. Parents often used their kids as an excuse to join in on the fun too. Bumper cars, a timeless thrill that brought joy to both kids and adults alike. Robert Wadlow, known as the Alton Giant from Alton, Illinois, holds the record as the tallest person in medical history. Born in 1918, he reached a towering height of 272 centimeters and weighed 220 kilograms at the time of his death. His extraordinary growth was due to an abnormality in his pituitary gland, causing gigantism. Robert became a popular figure among Americans, especially after touring with the Ringling Brothers Circus in 1936. Upon his death, his family, fearing his body might be stolen due to his fame, placed him in a half-done concrete coffin. He was carried by 12 pallbearers and laid to rest, with 40,000 people attending his funeral. The Tuileries Garden in Paris is a public palace garden, renowned for its statues, cafes, terraces, and beautifully landscaped green spaces. It's also a paradise for children, filled with fun activities like acrobats, puppet theaters, lemonade stands, small boats in the fountains, and toy stalls. In this photo, from 1963 by Alfred Eisenstadt, children are captivated by a puppet show depicting the story of St. George and the dragon in Tuileries Garden. In New Zealand, the indigenous Maori people have unique traditions, including drying small sharks for food and trade. This photo, taken in 1914 at Tokohiwari, Whangarei Harbour, captures a glimpse of their way of life. Today, the Maori make up only about 14.9% of New Zealand's population, with the majority being of European descent. But did you know that New Zealanders refer to themselves as Kiwis, named after the flightless national bird? Kiwis is a term of endearment for the people of this beautiful country. The year is 1900, and in Central Park, New York City, goat carriages are all the rage. Don't underestimate these strong animals. For children, riding in these carriages was an amazing adventure. Today's kids might prefer more high-tech gadgets, but back then, a simple ride in a goat carriage brought immense joy, a charming reminder of simpler times. Local support during times of war has always been crucial. During World War II, a French woman is seen giving water to a Canadian soldier amidst the chaos of battle. Fast forward to the Afghanistan War, and in Kabul, an Afghan man offers tea to American soldiers. Small acts of kindness that speak volumes about humanity in the face of conflict. In 1959, a group of students in Durban, South Africa, set out to break a quirky record, cramming as many people as possible into a phone booth. They succeeded, with an incredible 25 students squeezing into the booth, earning a spot in the Guinness World Records. A fun and memorable moment in history. Holland House in London, built in 1605 for diplomat Sir Walter Cope, is a historic estate with a grand library, once spanning 500 acres. Its east wing now serves as a youth hostel. In 1940, King George VI and Queen Elizabeth attended the last Grand Ball at Holland House. Just weeks later, on September 7th, the Blitz began. On the night of September 27th, the house was hit by 22 incendiary bombs during a 10-hour bombing raid. Miraculously, the East Wing and the library suffered minimal damage, preserving a piece of history amidst the devastation.